Hey, Grande Alive, welcome to Gun Talks with me, Brent Clapp, and Clay Winton. Glad to have you with us, Clay.
Great to be back again, Brent.
Our sponsors today are Northwest Furniture and Mattress, Anything to Digital, Grand Ron Hospital, and a new sponsor of ours, Eoni, who is a local internet provider. So Clay, hey, thanks a bunch for coming in again. What are we going to talk about today?
Well, we'll talk about concealed carry, some of the different pistol action types, and a couple of different holster options out there.
Okay, and what is involved in a concealed carry in the state of Oregon?
Alrighty, so you'd go take a class by a certified instructor. After that was done, you'd go down to your local sheriff's office. You would have your picture taken, fingerprints done. They send that off to OSP. The wait time right now, I think it takes about a month most of the time. And then you'd get your card back in the mail that you were approved. You'd go down there, they'd take your picture and print it off. It looks a lot like a driver's license. So right now, an Oregon concealed carry is valid in 14 other states. They have reciprocity with the state of Oregon. So you can still carry, you can carry in their state with that permit. So there's other states like Utah, for one, that has reciprocity with a ton of other states. Some instructors are certified to teach the Utah class. The background check's a little more involved, and it obviously all gets shipped off to Utah to get one of their concealed carries. Getting an out-of-state concealed carry is not a hard process.
Okay.
So once you have that, you're legal to carry. In addition, in Oregon, we also have open carry. So as long as the firearm is totally visible, not obscured, you have to have at least 80% of the firearm showing, then it's legal to carry without a permit. So like for instance in your vehicle, if it's sitting on the center console, it's in plain view to the world, there's nothing illegal about that.
Okay.
So a lot of people get really bound up about that, and there's an easier option.
Okay, so a concealed carry license is not an easy thing to get. There's a process to do.
Oh, there's absolutely a process.
Yeah. So it's not like if it's not available to people who might have mental issues.
No, they run a very in-depth background check, just like anything related to firearms. You can't do anything in the firearms world without a background check.
Okay, good. So talk to me about the different options. So if you've gone through the process, you have a concealed carry license.
And it's time to start carrying a gun?
Yeah.
Well, it comes down to personal preference. I mean, the options are limitless. Me personally, I carry a full-size Glock 22 in an inside the waistband holster. So this holster actually goes inside the waistband, and that way the gun doesn't hang out from my body. I used to wear an outside the waistband holster, like this one, that clips on the outside. And with that, I used to run it into stuff all the time, and it just felt bulky and sticking out. Where with this one, I never even know it's there, and I'm still carrying a rather large handgun. Okay. Then you go farther on to something like this, which is more of a pocket carry setup. So, like this little 22 mag revolver.
So that hold that up again so we can get it. So it looks like a toy gun.
Yeah, it's a 5-shot 22 mag. Okay. It's single action, so you have to pull the hammer back for it to go. And one really important thing, some people throw a gun in their pocket, and it does not make any sense. You have to make sure your trigger is covered. Okay. There's no excuse for that. And especially in a single action gun like this, without any kind of safety mechanism, I would never ever carry it with a loaded round underneath the hammer. You're just asking for trouble. Why open yourself to that possibility? Did
you reach in and get your keys and accidentally fire off your gun?
It would be complicated, but it's within the realm of possibility.
Okay. Right.
The amount of factors that have to come to play for that to actually happen, or I think you're more likely hit by a meteor, but it's personal preference. Okay. So never do something that makes you feel unsafe. So let me go over, this is a double action revolver, and so the difference obviously on size and caliber compared to this one would be you could just have to pull the trigger and the hammer will come back every time. You can also fire it in single action like that one. Okay. So, and that's compared to like the Glock, which is a semi-auto. So every pull of the trigger, it goes off, and it's a clean, crisp pull every time.
Okay. So then with a semi-auto, and I have both of these guns. So if with a double action gun, every time you pull, but it's a long pull. So when you're pulling the trigger back, it's pulling the hammer back, and it gets to the full back portion, and then it slams forward. Okay. Yes, with a semi-automatic, then as the shell is being ejected, it is recocking the internal hammer.
There's not. Recocking the firing pin. It would be called the striker.
Right. Okay.
So that would be a striker-fired semi-auto like this Glock, compared to like your little bodyguard here, which actually has an actual hammer in it.
Okay.
You can see it in the back there that it has the same long length of trigger pull because that hammer's in the resting position every time, where after every shot, the firing pin is cocked back on these.
Okay. So, but from the actual shooter, then this is a semi-auto has a very short pull normally. This a double action, whether it's internal or external, has a long pull every time for that hammer to come all the way back.
Yes, sir.
And
You
then
gotta
forward.
you gotta wind that thing up to let it go.
Okay. All right. Okay. So, so this is probably people don't conceal carry a gun like this.
No, not generally.
Yeah, because it's just too big to do so.
Yes, sir. Well, and that comes all down to preference. So this is a smaller Glock, and it's almost identical to this one, other than it holds 7 instead of 15 in the magazine. And
But the caliber is similar.
this one's a 380, but we have identical ones in 9mm.
Okay.
This is a 40, but I have a 9mm that's the identical size.
Okay.
So it's a fairly even comparison across the board.
Okay.
So the problem with that, anytime you go bigger in a smaller gun, it gets a little harder to handle too.
Okay.
So it's a lot harder to control.
And why is it harder to handle? Explain that a little bit.
Recoil, the forces that are acting as this thing goes through its firing sequence and comes back, it's going to move you a lot more. So you're going to have a little harder time getting back on target.
Okay. So then every time you fire, the gun comes up, and you have to make some effort to
Absolutely.
re-aim again and shoot again. Whereas a heavier gun will stay closer to on target when
Yes.
you. Okay.
Just simple mass.
Okay. All right. Well, so let's talk about, you talked a little bit about holster options.
Yes. So there's an outside the waistband. There's a million different holster manufacturers out there. The key is just finding one that's comfortable to you with a weapons package that works the way you want it to. For me, a full size works great. I'm also a bigger guy. My wife carries a Glock 43, which is the 9mm version of this. It's a lot slimmer. It's not nearly as heavy. That's personal preference.
Okay. So, and this is my little concealed carry. I don't have a concealed carry permit yet, so I don't carry it. But at some point, I will prepare for that. And there's a couple of holster options with this. This is a cute little holster, and it's not really even a holster. It's a container for the gun, and so then you can carry it in a pocket.
Right, breaks up the outline.
Breaks up the outline of the gun. And then this, again, is very similar to this. But you can put this, is that an outside? Or
That looks like an inside the waistband unless you're
okay.
a lefty.
All right. So you could carry that inside your waistband, so on
Yep.
and so forth.
Or inside your belt. You could wear it just inside a belt loop just because of the way that's set up. So whenever they have a paddle like this, it's generally an inside the waistband because it's what it's doing is protecting your side from the gun.
Okay.
So as it's sitting there, it's giving your side protection so it's not rubbing on you,
Okay.
which isn't fun.
Yeah. So, yeah, so anytime that a gun is uncomfortable to carry,
You won't carry it.
you won't carry it.
You might carry it for a week. You won't carry it much longer.
Okay.
So that's it's called everyday carry for a reason.
So why do people, I mean, I know that's kind of a silly question, but why do people carry? I mean, are they afraid? Are they, give me some rationale behind that.
What's the average response time of a police officer to a violent crime? 4 to 5 minutes.
Okay.
It takes a lot less than that to get yourself in trouble.
Okay.
So the way I see it, at least, is a cop's too heavy to carry with me all the time, and it's not their job to be a personal bodyguard. I'm responsible personally for my own personal safety.
Okay.
So that's my deal. It's no extra effort or time out of my world to put this gun on every day.
Okay.
It's effortless. It goes on just like my socks every morning. I've been doing it long enough now, especially I don't even know it's there.
Okay.
So in my mind, it's just an add a little bit of protection on that side. Why not have it?
Right.
If anything goes wrong, I have the ability to respond to it. And especially, I have a wife and kids.
Okay.
So I'm responsible for their personal safety also. So that's part of the reason why I carry every day. And I have never had to draw a gun in anger. Or not in anger, in fear. I hope I never have to. So far, I've killed 2 badgers and a coyote with this pistol, and that's been it. Other than that, it's just target practice.
Okay. So, so what do you say to those people that say, well, there's another gun out there, and you carrying a gun makes the whole situation more dangerous.
How so? It takes it from begging for your life to actually be able to make a difference.
Okay.
My opinion.
Yeah. No, I understand. So I think that whenever you have a situation where the only person that is armed is the bad guy, then he's going to have his way, and if he's inclined to shoot people, he's going to do so until he's stopped or he kills himself in one
Absolutely.
way or another. Yeah.
Well, another interesting statistic, like even going into mass shootings, the average number of people killed when police stop a mass shooting is 14.3. When a civilian stops a mass shooter, it's 1.3, and one of those is the shooter.
Okay.
So at the same time Sandy Hook happened, they had another attempted mass shooting in Portland on the same day. Guy pulled out and walked into a mall with an AK-47, fired off a couple pot shots, hit one person, concealed carry guy drew, pointed it at him, and the guy blew his brains out. As soon as they're met with any kind of force, these nut jobs tend to stop. But the only thing that's ever stopped a bad guy with a gun is a good guy with a gun. The only thing that beats force is force.
Okay. All right. Well, I think do you have anything else you want to add to this topic?
No, I think that's the majority of it.
Okay. Well, thanks so much, Clay, and thanks for taking the time to come in and talk about this. And, we'd be interested in your thoughts. I know that, guns are kind of a controversial topic. They're less controversial in Eastern Oregon than they are on the west side of the state. But we would be interested in your thoughts, and if you have some if you have some other areas of gun topics that you're wanting us to cover, we'd be happy to hear those things. So be sure in the comment section, be sure and share and like this video and add your comments. And again, thank you to our sponsors, Northwest Furniture and Mattress, Grand Ronde Hospital, Anything to Digital, which is my company, and we can change your VHS to DVDs. And then also Eoni, our newest sponsor, who provides internet service locally here. Thanks so much.